Alrighty. So, I am coming back refreshed. Most of you probably didn't see it, but I did have a stream on Monday that I decided not to archive because I ran into a lot of issues, and for a significant portion of that broadcast, I did not realize my mic was muted. You guys probably don't see it because I didn't save the archive. It's not available on the DVR, but yeah, there was a lot of technical issues and just other things that kind of snuck up on me, and as a result, I've actually changed a lot of things in the back end of the stream. Hopefully, this is coming through okay. Nothing should change for, anybody who's viewing the stream. You shouldn't be able to tell a difference. I'm streaming on a different device. Or you shouldn't be able to tell that I've changed a lot of my back end stuff. Anyway, I ran into some problems with Hammer, and it was even though Hammer Plus Plus is an improved version of Hammer, it's still Hammer. It has some quirks and issues I was trying to get around. And yeah, since most of my views come from my DVR or from people watching the VOD, I'll go ahead and kind of reiterate some of the stuff I said on that stream, or some of the information I conveyed on that stream. So Hammer Plus Plus is an improved version of Hammer. It is a lot better. It has, lighting previews. It has all sorts of things that, like, all modern editors have, but Hammer didn't because it's a 20-year-old program. Well, excuse me, it's more of a 25-year-old program at this point. So, yeah. But anyway, I figured, I'll just kind of create a map in here, and hopefully you guys who are watching on the VOD will kind of learn along. And, with that, let's go ahead and stop the intro and let's get started here. I turn down the music. Switch over to my monitor. So anyway, Source is, it's very complicated. I don't know everything about Source. Like, I actually have reference documents on my other monitor from the Valve developer community. I do not know everything about this. Like, as I've reiterated in past streams, I'm not an expert. I'm just showing you. I just have a lot of experience kind of configuring, like, messing around with tools like this. And I hope you all will have an entertaining time with me, and hopefully you learn something along the way. Anyway, if you're wondering how to get Hammer Plus Plus and how to install it, it's, again, because of how complicated Source Engine is, every game has kind of its own fork of Source Engine, and, they all have their own versions of Hammer. And, if you want to wrap your head around all of the differences and stuff, again, go to the Valve developer community. They have a really great resources. And if you can, hopefully your source game or whatever you're making for the whatever you're creating, whatever mod you're creating for the source game you're making for. Hopefully, you have a Hammer Plus Plus version available for it. So, like, Hammer Plus Plus, just like there's a different version of Hammer for each game, there's a different version of Hammer Plus Plus for each game. So, and I highly encourage you to use it. Again, lighting previews, like fog, being able to see how the fog looks, all that stuff is really, really useful. You don't have to wait for the entire map to render to see what the lighting is going to look like, which is always nice. And hopefully there's a Hammer Plus Plus available for the game you're trying to mod for. All right, enough yapping. I'm gonna go ahead. Right now, as you can probably guess from the title, I'm gonna create a map for Garry's mod. And to do this, I'm just gonna go ahead and hit new. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna hit new, and then there. And already you can tell, in traditional Hammer, you want to have this like skybox preview. It would just be like a blank void, right? And yes, that's what it's called. This is I believe they call this additive editing, but basically everything kind of starts in this void. And yes, it's called that. And you basically fill in this void by creating like basic shapes like cubes and other shapes to contain your map. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and create... Yeah, we're going to go ahead and select the block tool right here, and we're just going to create a... Oh, and I'm going to enable snapping. It's already enabled. Okay, good. So I'm just going to create like a kind of a block right here. And there you go. You see, unlike with Trench Room, which is I did a stream with that a couple of streams ago. This has 4 views, right? You have your 3D view, you have a top view, you have a view from the front, you have a view from the side. All these views, now all these views are technically available in Trench Room. It just shows you them one at a time. But here they give you all 4. I'm guessing maybe to make editing in Hammer a little faster. But anyway, you can look around in the 3D viewport by pressing like WASD and like pressing Z, which will kind of capture your mouse cursor, and you use WASD to kind of fly around. Whoops! And there I accidentally pressed a shortcut. Don't worry about that. I'm gonna redo our shape. Oh nope, I have the selection tool. I'm gonna redo our shape with the block tool. And as you can see, our block doesn't exist yet. Right now, it's just kind of theoretical. Like it doesn't exist until you press enter. But anyway, you know, you can see it in all the views, and you can see it in the 3D editor right here as I'm moving around with WASD. And I'm just gonna press enter, and there the texture is made. And right now we don't. Right now we have the water texture selected. I'm not gonna use that. I'm gonna hit browse, and yeah, I don't want water. I want grass. There we go. Takes it to load. And again, it's not... It's a bit clicky to apply textures. As soon as you select your texture here on the right side of the screen, you have to go back to your left side and hit toggle or apply current texture. There we go. Our current texture is applied. As you can see, you know, it's grass. Yeah, pretty basic. If you play Garry's mod, you probably recognize this grass texture. It's pretty famous. But yeah, now that we got that out of the way, this is basically going to be our world. But here's a problem. Just like with Trench Room, we have to seal our map, right? We can't just do... We can't just have this flat thing and then the game magically knows what to do, right? Because we have to contain the map. We have to essentially build a giant room within this void that will contain and seal. They call it sealing the map, so that it doesn't leak out into this void. And if you get a leak, you'll actually get an error when compiling the map, and it won't allow you to compile. So we need to enclose this space. And how we're going to do that is I'm going to click on it. I'm going to hold Shift, and that's going to be our duplication tool for this hammer. I'm just going to move it up. Move it up. I don't know. Maybe up there. And I still want to move it though. Maybe up here. How long is this in units? I don't know what these cubes are in units. They're probably meters. They could be text. Again, sometimes some programs try to use real measurements, and others use like texture measurements, kind of like with Doom. I'm not sure I can't remember which one Hammer used, but I think it's a little high. I kind of just want to, we're going to kind of do this quick and lazy. I'm going to try and duplicate everything. We're going to move this to this kind of the side. We're going to click on this twice, or once, so that we can kind of activate the rotational tool and kind of place this right here-ish. Yeah, that works. Whoops. I accidentally pressed I I keep accidentally pressing shortcut keys because I'm used to other editors. But all right, look pretty good there. All right, so now I'm going to. Okay, I have to switch the selection tool, I think. Okay, it's not allowing me. There we go. Okay, now it recognizes it. Trying to duplicate. It's not wanting to duplicate. There we go. Okay, duplicated. All right, duplicated another time. That at the top. All right, there we go. So we've got this. We've got one kind of dimension done. Now we got to kind of go on the other dimension here. So you can kind of see I'm looking around these other viewports, and I'm using middle mouse button to move this, in case you're wondering. Let's see here. So I believe what I want to do. I think trying to figure out the most efficient way to kind of copy and paste this. I think it's going to be a little clicky either way, I think. So do that. I'm gonna go back to this viewport. I'm gonna rotate it. I'm gonna pull this. Oops. I click on that again. Okay, I'm gonna pull this back to there. And I'm gonna copy and paste this right here. Trying to look at what I'm doing in the 3D viewport, make sure nothing's kind of clipping. The bottom's clipping a bit. You kind of want to avoid the textures clipping because it kind of creates odd textures. And when you click on that twice, if you see me move my mouse over, it's because I have windows opening up in the other monitor. Yeah, this needs to be moved back just a tad. Oh, okay. The snapping was disabled. I gotta re-enable that. You can re-enable it with a shortcut, Shift W. Making sure there's no leaks. Nothing's coming out the bottom. Might actually drag this wall out a bit. It's kind of annoying me, but anyway. So now our map is completely devoid of leaks. At least as far as I can tell. You know, maybe, when we compile, there might be something wrong. But hey, let's go ahead and test that. So, I'm gonna go ahead. Before we can compile the map, we do need to add an entity. And obviously we're gonna add the player entity. Thankfully, whenever you press an entity, it's always the player start entity by default. And, to change it, whoops. To change it, you have to select your little selection tool here. And then this window will pop up. And as you can see, you can change the entity to a bunch of things. I'll get into some of those later. But anyway, we're just going to test and see if the map compiles. So what I'm going to do, is I'm going to hit Run Map. And, I have some, this is my folder. I'll go into .vmf files. We'll just kind of call this, I don't know, grass. So, hit save. Yes. I don't know why it was asking me to do that. Run normal. Okay. Okay, so we have an error. Unfortunately, and I know what it is. I did not launch the game with administrative privileges, or this editor with administrative privileges. I'm sorry about that. I forgot to. I kind of just realized it when I saw that save file. I was like, oh, it's not allowing me to write there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to try and save. I'm going to go back to the standby screen. I'm going to go ahead and save it in a different folder that I have access to. And I'm going to go ahead and restart the program in with administrator mode enabled. This is going to happen sometimes with these editors. Windows, whether or not you're on Windows or Linux, there's always like a permissions issue that kind of screws you over. Let's see here. I gotta go to back to my Garry's Mod directory because that's where the program's at. Garry's Mod. What's the... Got data. In bin. Sorry, it's in bin. Run as administrator. And there we go. And we're gonna open the... Alright. We got it back. So, luckily all our work was saved. And also, this is why you always kind of save your work. You don't want to go through an hour of editing and then the editor crashes. And trust me, Hammer will crash. Even Hammer++. Hammer++ is great, but it will still crash. So, I'm going to go ahead and save as. We're going to save it in our .vmf files. We're just going to call it grass. Oh, it's not wanting to save in the... Is it still not running in an administrator? I could have swore I made it... You have to create a new folder that I own? Hang on a minute. Let's just... I'm gonna create a new folder. Let's see here. Just gonna call it VMF files _ files. And I'm gonna save it as grass. It should save in this directory. Okay, good. All right. Yeah, there's like kind of permissions issues. I'm not on my default Windows user. That's why this is happening. Anyway, I should have hit run map. It should compile now. Yep, there we go. Okay, it's successfully compiled. Should see the Garry's Mod logo. Oh, by the way, I'll get to it after the map loads. We're loading. Oh, there we go. Yeah. As you can see, we're in Garry's Mod, and we have our little grass cube that we've made. There's no leaks. If there were leaks, it wouldn't have compiled. So right now, I'm just gonna shoot around, play with the default weapons. And go around. But as you can tell, this is a very, very, very basic map. There's no lighting. There's no reflections, in fact. If you look at the crossbow, there's no... the little scope is blank. Normally there's supposed to be like an image there, but, we'll do that later. But anyway, I should also mention... The thing I wanted to mention earlier was that this version of Hammer++ only works on Garry's Mod 64-bit. So you have to, like... go into your Steam directory and change the Garry's Mod branch to 64-bit for this to work. Otherwise, you have to use the default Hammer, and, it's... Default Hammer has broken many people. It can be rough. You have a lot of quality of life stuff that you're used to, and modern editors just aren't there. But anyway, our map, it's kind of, you don't really want to be in a giant grass box, right? We have this beautiful sky box that we kind of selected. And, we kind of want to get rid of all of this, like, we don't want our player to feel confined in a giant grass box. We want our player to feel like they're exploring an environment, not trapped. So, what we're going to do is we're going to take all these walls, and I'm going to hit Control. Except for our floor. And with these walls selected, I'm going to go ahead and go into our texture browser here. I'm going to type in Skybox. It's going to take a bit to load. I should have a 2D skybox somewhere. I might have to type in tools. Excuse me. Okay, it's not there. There it is. Okay, so I have to go all the way to the bottom. There it is, 2D skybox, and we're gonna hit apply texture. Okay, there we go. So now, all this should be our skybox. It shouldn't be like giant grass walls. We should have our giant, skybox. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna compile the map again. This is just making sure everything works. You do want to save frequently, but here we go. Here's the all the grass walls are no more. They have been replaced by invisible walls, but you can see the sky now. And we basically have our own version of flat grass from Garry's mod. But again, we fixed one problem, but there's still the lighting. The lighting is kind of lacking. It's kind of dark. But that's again, that's pretty easy to fix. Go back to our editor here. Back to our editor, and go ahead and close that. And the way we add lights is that, just like how we added the player, the light is considered an entity. So we're gonna go into the entity tool and place it right here. I'm gonna get our selection tool, double click on it, and I'm gonna go ahead and find light. And there are a bunch of different lights you can have. I'm gonna choose environment light, and I'm gonna hit apply so that we get access to the properties. Okay, do this, drag this up, and let's see, pitch. We want the pitch to be straight down, I think. We're gonna do that 90 degrees. And as you can see, there's a nice little arrow that shows us where the light's direction. I'm gonna hit apply. Now, of course, in old Hammer, you would not be able to see what this light looked like. Fortunately, in this version of Hammer, there is a light tool that does do it for you. And I'm gonna go ahead to access that. You have to go do 3D lighting preview, and there we go. I think we have the lights. Hang on. No, I don't want that. I want the. No, I don't want the texture properties. There we go. Okay, you have to right click on it. Sometimes it's a little weird, but basically here you can basically, Hammer++ comes with a very basic light rendering editor. It's not going to look exactly how it look in game, but it's close enough to where it's like you aren't going to feel like you have to compile every single time you make a lighting change, which is what you had to do with old Hammer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and bake the changes. And as you can see, all the light's now different. The light is very clearly coming from the top. Our little Gordon Freeman here, Green Freeman, is now lit from the top very clearly. And if we run the map again, we should be able to get the lighting changes. Should be able to see them on our guns and stuff. And it looks, to be honest, it doesn't look that much different. I was kind of expecting something a bit more dramatic. Maybe the light isn't bright enough. Maybe the environment isn't bright enough. I'm gonna click on this again. Yeah, the brightness is only 2. We're gonna turn that up. At that last number, so the brightness and color, these are all in RGB values, and the last value is a brightness value. I'm just gonna change this to like 2000. Like a bright sunshiny day. And hopefully... Oh boy. It is very bright. But in game it should look a little more it'll probably be a little more subtle. There we go. Now it looks a lot brighter. You can see it on our character's gun. You know, everything is far brighter. It's not, it doesn't feel as gloomy. So what now? Well, right now, you know, our where our lighting's okay, we still don't really have all our reflections. Especially on our little scope on our little crossbow right here. So what we have to do to enable those types of reflections is we have to do something called a cube map. And all a cube map is that it's a very basic, I don't know. It's a very resource performant way of creating reflections without having like ray tracing. So what it'll do is that it'll take 6 pictures, and it'll make a cube, aka a cube map, out of those pictures that will act as a very basic reflection for our guns and for our crossbow scope, which I'll kind of show you here. And generating a cube map is easy. You just have to go to your entities, click around, go back to your selection tool, double click, and we're just gonna type in cube map. And we're going to go ahead and hit apply. And you can have multiple cube maps in a level, and your reflections will reflect the change of the nearest cube map. Sorry if you heard noise. I accidentally hit my mic. So with that here, and this can go anywhere. Like if you just have one in the level, the reflections will just default to that cube map. But I'll show you that here. I'm just gonna go ahead and hit run map. I'm gonna compile it. Ready? And if I select my crossbow, you'll see the crossbow still doesn't have reflections. So this is another thing that's kind of weird when you're doing source games, is that unfortunately the cube maps are not built during the compiling process. You actually have to go into the map and you have to actually type in a developer command. You have to press your tilde key, access the developer menu, and you have to type in build cube maps. And now, there we go. You can see the reflection in the scope. See a very, very basic reflection of our environment. And you'll actually see some reflections of the ground on the weapon as well. You'll see kind of like the textures are, like you can see it turns green right there because it's reflecting the grass. Or like there's like a greenish hue on like the gun. That wasn't there before. Yes, you're gonna have to do this for every map you compile. You'll have to build cube maps. You have to load the game and build the cube maps like manually before I think you distribute them. Otherwise, your players are gonna have to do that, and they're not gonna like that. And you also have to build cube maps separately. So if you're using HDR, like HDR rendering, or what the source calls HDR, you'll have to build two separate cube maps. One for HDR and one without HDR. It's a pain in the ass. It's antiquated. It's kind of a pain in the ass. But that's just how It's just how it works in Source. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and quit. So now that we got like a basic layout, I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna deviate from our little flat grass right here, because we have plenty of time. We have like 30 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and try and build. I got an idea of building like an underground structure. Like we have like an above ground, like little house. Excuse me. That leads to a basement that we can kind of go into, and you know, I can show you how doors work, and maybe we'll put like some water in there, just to show you how like all the basic kind of tools work. But anyway, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go back to our block tool, and I'm gonna go ahead, create a block right here. In fact, I want the block to be a little bigger. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and extend out the back of it. Hit enter. And obviously we have our 2D skybox. We don't want our skybox right there. We're gonna go ahead and replace that texture with a normal texture. I'm gonna look for a wall, just like a generic wall texture. Okay, well, I pressed enter a little too early there. Wall. Okay, hang on. This is where... Okay, there we go. Okay, I'm gonna click. Okay, that's a lot easier. I'm just gonna click the toggle texture application on the right, and there we go. Now we have our walls. I don't know. We'll just choose a generic one. Oh, there's your dev material if you want your measurements stuff. That's if you've ever played like a lot of Source mods, and you'll have like a environment where it's just like the orange and gray tiles that are like measurements. That's what this is. In fact, I'll just show you it. And here's your like little, you know, it's basically like a rough draft sort of thing before you put final textures on it. I'm not really gonna use those though. That's big enough. Now I'm going to go ahead and create a door for this structure. So for that, I'm going to go ahead and build it right there. And, you know, it's super long for some dumb reason. I want you to move over here. It's a little big for a door. This is going to be our player size, and it's a little tall. Try and like lower it a bit. I might need a finer. I have to increase the grid size and just get like a finer. I think I decreased it. It's kind of a bit fat in here. I don't want a super fat door. You know, that doesn't work. Oops, I accidentally did that. Come on, I want to draw a new block right here. And I want it to be super big. I gotta kind of put it next to our guy. Needs to be a little wider. Yeah, this is where it kind of becomes more of an art than a science. I think that, there we go. I think that's a good door size right there. I'm gonna go ahead and flatten it a bit. And I'm gonna hit enter. All right. So an easy thing you can do is that obviously this is one giant solid cube. What we're gonna do is we're gonna make this cube hollow. Essentially, it just takes a cube, makes it hollow, and it makes it easier for you to essentially create rooms a lot faster. So, and that's easy. You just kind of go to tools and hit make hollow. I'm gonna ask you how big you want the, or how thick you want the walls. 32 is a little thick. I might as well just hit 32. How thick that is. It's not too bad. I mean, I might have to widen our door a bit, or thicken our door a bit to make it so that it actually goes through here. What we're gonna do next is we're just gonna, well, first off, I'm gonna save. Sometimes doing these, doing the operation I'm about to do, which is carve, can sometimes cause hammer to crash. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and temporarily lengthen our door. I'm gonna select the door, and I'm gonna select the cube. I'm gonna hit tools. I'm gonna go ahead and hit carve. And now I'm gonna unselect the both. I'm gonna go ahead and bring this out, and now we have our little room right here. It's also a little high. That's why I didn't want to make the walls too thick, because this is a little high for our needs. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and lower it. I'm going to go ahead and lower the entire structure down, maybe. Then I'm going to go ahead and move our door back into place. I'm going to go ahead and carve again. Oh wait, no. I need to select both, and then I'm going to hit carve. Okay, that's a little better. So obviously, we're going to take this little block here, and we're going to turn it into our door. And just kind of move this. Now, creating a door is kind of easy. I say, as I try and put this in here. But all you have to do is you have to actually turn this brush into an entity. Now, you do that is that you see this little 2 entity button right here. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to click that. A button's going to come up, and we're going to call this function door. And specifically, we want function door rotating. We're going to hit apply. And now, as you can see, this little thing appeared, and this door is now an entity. This little sphere, I believe, is called a button, right? And what's going to happen is that this button is going to do the rotation function that that entity defined on this button's axis, right? So what that means is that this whole entire door is going to rotate around this little sphere's axis. And, you know, obviously, I mean, I'll just demonstrate it to you. Hang on, let me make sure that this has what we need, because we need to do some flags. Okay, we want to have this be toggle, or we want this to be use opens, and yeah, we have to define how we want to interact with the door in these little flags right here. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and compile, and I'll be able to show you how this works. Again, no leaks. That's always good. well, there's our little thing. Our door is right here. It's a little inconspicuous, but I should be able to touch it. Oh, hey, again. Work there for a minute. There we go. So as you can see, the door is rotating on the axis that we defined for it. Come on, there we go. And it'll, but obviously we can't go in there because again, the button's in the center and it's rotating where that button is. So we're gonna change that. Press any key to close. Okay, we're gonna get rid of that. First off, we're gonna make our door a lot more appealing to look at. Just gonna type in door from our texture browser. And sometimes, do I want texture lock? I don't think I want texture lock, do I? I'm gonna try and apply current texture. Ooh, okay. Our texture's a little off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click on this. No, I don't want the function tool rotating. I need the toggle texture application. Okay, there we go. This is how you kind of move the UV texture on the thing. And if I center it, it looks kind of off. Maybe I need to change the Luxel scale. Yeah, I'm just kind of like doing textures in Source is a little weird. You can rotate it. It's not as easy as it is in other things. I'm just going to kind of shift the texture and make it look decent. There we go. I think that looks alright. Yeah, that looks like a door. But what we need to do is we need to change the location of this button. Because we don't want it rotating in the middle. We want it to rotate at the hinges. And how you do that is that we have to change the location of the button. And if I remember how to do that, speed 100. Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah, we have to edit the origin. And specifically, I think this is X, Y, and Z. I'm not entirely sure. I can't remember. But we need to alter two of these. So I'm going to go ahead and change this one. Hit apply. Okay, yeah, that's the one we want. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and change this to 300. Should be near where the engine. Oh, okay, no, never mind. It's off. Oh no, okay, I forgot to put the space. Okay, there we go. Let me hit 310. Okay, I'm gonna hit 320. Okay, there we go. Now it's on the hinge. So I'm gonna hit it. Go ahead and hit exit on that. I'm gonna save. Always want to save. Always want, again, hammer can crash. Gotta wait for it to load. Oh yeah, here's our little door. Open it up, and there we go. That it fits almost perfect. It clips a little bit, but you know. You can fix that later. And we're in our little orange cube room. And, you know, we can kind of go back out and look around our area. But, you know, I said I would do an underground kind of dungeon. So, not really a dungeon, but like a little room. Basement, I don't know. So we're going to do that real quick here. We're still doing good on time. So, go ahead and start making the under part of our map. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the under part of the map as big as the top part. That's I think what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and... Yeah, there we go. And where is this at? Okay, we want to extend this out on the sides as well. We're going to want to bring this down. I'm going to flatten this. I don't want it to feel too claustrophobic. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. Now our little thing should be under the map, and it's gonna be gonna use our door texture, but we'll go ahead and replace the texture now with the concrete wall. It's kind of like flat white concrete, and of course we have to hit the apply current texture. And next we're going to do the same thing with our room. We're going to make it hollow. So we're going to go to Tools, Make Hollow. It's going to ask what the wall thickness you want. Now we have this entire hollow room. Now notice it's unlit. And because we're simulating the lighting, everything's going to look dark. So we're going to go ahead and go back to our normal tool of just shaded texture palette polygons. And now we can actually see the inside of our little room right here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna build some stairs that goes down through this into here. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna look at our side view, and I'm gonna go back to the block tool. I'm just gonna create some steps. I might do this visually out here so I can actually see what the size of these steps are, because we kind of want the steps to be player scale. Whatever that means to you. Just to make them look, natural. Now, see, that's a little big. See, if you look at our model, it's a little big compared to our player. So I'm going to go ahead and minimize that. That looks a little better, actually. I want to flatten it more, but I'm kind of scared to. Yeah, that's kind of as small as we can get with our current grid size. But I think that's enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this. I'm going to look at our little side profile here. And I'm going to see how many steps it takes to get down to our site level. And we're going to do a similar thing we did with our door. We're going to just use the carve tool and carve the path out with a kind of solid block here. I'm just going to go ahead and shift copy. Whoops. Shift copy. Not one of the. Okay, no, I have to press enter. I forgot to press enter. I'm sorry. Okay, shift copy. Shift copy. Is that a second stair, or did I just? Yes, it is. Okay. Yeah. A shift copy. Copy. Shift copy. Copy. Shift copy. Shift copy. And we're going to want to go to all the way to the floor, so a lot of copying. A lot of copying, and it kind of goes all the way down to our little basement right here under the map. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all these. Select, select, select. And this can be a lot of clicking. And I'm going to go ahead. Yeah, I'm going to raise them just a bit. So maybe that'll work. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go to our tools. I'm gonna go ahead and hit merge. And it's gonna make a giant block. With this giant block, I'm gonna go ahead and hit carve. And then I'm gonna go ahead and... You know what? I probably should have copied the stairs because I'm gonna have to do them over again. But you know what? Fuck it. We're just gonna do it. I'm just gonna delete the block. We're gonna make our stairs again. Anyway, as you can see, we have a little hole into our thing with some Z collision errors there. That's because we dragged our... So the Z collision errors are because we dragged the house down into the thing to kind of lower it. We can fix that by just selecting this and this. I'm going to save before I do this, because again, this can kind of ruin your day. I'm going to just hit carve. Oh. And I think it crashed. Yeah. It didn't like that. It didn't like that operation. That's why we save before we do that. Yeah, we're going to have to close the program. All right, now I'm going to launch the program again. And yeah, I've got to go back to Garry's mod. Got to go to Steam apps, common. Yeah, okay. We're gonna load our autosave, last save file. And luckily our thing's still there. We'll just leave the C collision in there so that we don't do that. But there is ways you can fix this. I can kind of lower the thing. I'm just kind of trying to do this quick because I am on a bit of a time limit. So I'm just gonna get to making the stairs again. So I'm gonna go back to our block tool. And we want to make the stairs, obviously, as the exact same units that we had. I think I'm going to go outside just to make sure we have the correct proportions again. So I can actually see it. I believe that's what we... No, I think we made it a little wider. It was a little wider, I think, right? And then I should be able to make this... Nope, it was actually that size. Then we have, that's exactly what we want. So now, I'm just gonna go ahead and do the same thing we did last time. And just copy and paste. I'm gonna hit enter, go to our selection tool, and just kind of go all the way down. Keep going. Obviously, there are faster ways to do this. I'm just doing this because this is the way I am comfortable with. And now, I'm going to go ahead and select all of these. Because as you can see, our group is... it's not textured. It has a black texture on it. We don't want that. Whoops, I did not want to select that. Can I unselect that? Can I unselect this? Shit, okay. I accidentally selected the wrong thing and now I have to do it all over again. I'm sorry. I don't think there's a click, drag, select function. I think I do just have to do all this. In fact, actually, let me just do this. This is a lot faster. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and hit tools. Instead of merge, I hit group. And now this whole entire staircase is considered one entity. And now change the textures on it. By go ahead, doing the same thing we did. I don't know what texture I want for the stairs. I can type in stairs. see what that does. Apply current texture. That doesn't really look that good. See this. Okay, I think I need to. Okay, I'm gonna. Texture's bothering me. I'm gonna go ahead and go to toggle. Oops. Toggle texture application. I'm gonna rotate. I think it's rotated wrong. I'm gonna go ahead and change the rotation of it. Okay. Is it doing anything? Oh no, it's not. It's not selected. Okay. Toggle texture application. Okay. That's kind of better. Okay, that works. That works a lot better. It's a little tall, but listen, there's a lot you can do with these steps. You know, this obviously this doesn't look that good. Side textures don't look that good, but you know, you can. If I had more time, I would like. You can select individual faces in the texture thing. You can click on this. You go to texture application, and you can kind of click just individual faces. You can kind of change them. It's gonna take a while. I'm not gonna do that in the stream, just to save a little bit of time. Anyway, with that, I'm gonna save, as you always should, and we gotta do lighting. We gotta put more lights in here. So, because obviously with lighting, this gets super dark. So I'm gonna put another entity in here. I'm gonna turn it into a light source, and we're gonna make it a spotlight. And I'm gonna hit apply. I'll change it and I'll apply those changes. And I want that spotlight to be moved up. Spotlight to go all the way up here. And obviously, you can add like lamps and stuff, and do more complex stuff like that. I need to rotate this. No, I don't think we want spotlight. I think we want directional. We want a directional light. I'm sorry. We don't want a spotlight. Pitch. We want it straight down. -90. This is the window, by the way. It kind of goes on the right side of my screen. And we also want the brightness to be super high as well. So re-click on this, and brightness. See, that's really dim. We're gonna want this at like, it's indoor lighting, so it shouldn't be as bright as outside. So we're gonna put it at 600. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and copy. I'm gonna duplicate this. And now we have our little directional lights. Now I should be able to go into my tools. I'm going to see how this looks with our 3D lighting preview. I'm going to go ahead and do a full bake. And outside's very bright, but here, not as bright. Oh, that's an inv. That's too... I thought I made this a directional light. Okay, maybe that's just the texture that they decided to use for the entity. Should be brighter inside. Obviously, it's gonna be dark in here. Obviously, in here it's completely dark because there is no lights. But I'm gonna go ahead and see how this looks right now. I'm gonna save, run map. I'm gonna do another compiling. And you notice the more lights and stuff that we add, the longer it takes to compile. So unless you have like a fast CPU, sometimes lighting can be, if you're on like a weaker PC, it could slow down your compile times quite a lot. So Go in. And it's a little brighter. Not as bright as I want it to be. Maybe, so there's different types of light entities. You can play with them. There we go. Yeah, let's change that to a spotlight. That looks a lot better, actually. That looks a hell of a lot better, actually. I'm going to just use a spotlight instead. And obviously you can put lamps and stuff in here to... But these aren't just floating. I'm going to go ahead and save. I'm going to run the map again. Alrighty, so yeah, there we go. That's what we wanted. And obviously, you can put lamps and stuff in here to kind of do the more accurate light. But anyway, you go down here and you're just kind of in the void, or not the void, but you know the void that is the basement, not the actual void. But yeah, I think we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna put those lights down into the basement as well. And I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing we've always been, just copy and paste. I'm going to copy and paste one of these down here. Oh no, I think it's the outside of the map. Looking at a top-down view. Alrighty. Let's do a full bake. Yeah, that's not as bad. And we want these lights to be a little more powerful. And you can obviously, you know, have all these properties that you can edit. I'm going to change this to 1,000. Actually, maybe 1,500. And, you know, obviously you get little explanations of what, you know, of how the, what's the word? Like the angles and stuff and what the fall off of the light is and, you know, all sorts of stuff. So you can do a lot of like mood stuff. You know, again, you can get really creative lighting. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to increase this angle. I'm going to increase this angle to like 60. How about 70? Okay, oh, it's not 670. There we go. That's a little more appropriate for the size of the space. And apply, exit that out, and then you get a cool little preview of what the light would look like in the, or what the light's gonna look like in the little basement that we have. And obviously, we're gonna do another full bake here. I can get it. And there we go. That's what it would kind of look like underground. We're just gonna put a bunch of these. I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna look at my side view here. And actually, oh, okay. You can also change it like that as well. I'm not really gonna do that. So I'm just gonna move this to where it's like kind of in front of the stairs. I'm gonna move it closer towards the stairs. And then I'm gonna kind of just make sure that I'm just gonna copy and paste. I'm just gonna create a bunch of lights in other parts of this place. I'm not gonna make it look neat. I'm gonna be honest. I'm just gonna kind of. I didn't want to. Yeah. That's okay. That's where that light's at. We're gonna just try and make it as well lit as we can. I'm gonna use the top-down view to kind of, you know, demonstrate this. kind of a dark area right here, so I'm gonna go ahead and just copy another light. This is very lazy. So I'm just gonna right here, and kind of missing some lights on this kind of extreme edge. I'll just kind of do this. Save, run, and it's gonna, again, you're gonna notice it's gonna take a little bit longer. It's a little bit longer to get all these lights to render properly. And we go in, and look at that. It's very well illuminated. You know, you have a lot of the reflections and everything, and you can kind of go around and you have this little basement. And obviously we need to, I think I said I would include water. So let's go ahead and mess with water for a bit. What we're gonna do with water. You have to kind of draw water in a very special way. I'm gonna go ahead and switch our camera back to the texture polygons. So to do water, it's a little special. First we need to alter this texture over here. We need to use a special texture called no draw, or a special thing. And by the way, these blocks I kind of, in case you didn't see my trench broom video, these blocks I'm creating are all called brushes. I know I kind of have to treat every video like somebody's watching it for the first time, and I kind of forgot to mention that, but these are all called brushes, but you need to create a special brush that has this no draw texture, right? And again, the brushes are just the cubes that we've been making this entire time and carving the level, or, you know, making the level out of. So basically, we're going to put it in our basement, and we're going to go ahead and put it right there. I don't exactly know where it's at. It's super thin for some reason. Where is our... Should be here. Outside of the map? Oh, wait, no. I forgot. I forgot to select the block tool. That's what happened. I'm gonna adjust my mic there. Yeah, here's our brush. Okay. And what we're gonna kind of do is that we kind of want something that our player can kind of dive in. And obviously, if you see the underside of the map right here, and this brush is gonna go right through that, because this isn't quite deep enough for a player to kind of get lost in, or kind of like submerge themselves in. Not necessarily get lost. I'm gonna just extend it down bottom of the map. I'm gonna hit enter. You're gonna see the special no draw thing. This is how you have to have... Sorry, something on my mic kind of got a little weird there. My pop filter kind of moved. Anyway, this is how you have to create water textures. You have to make the entire block a no draw, and then you have to change the topmost texture to the special water shader that they have. And what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and carve out our space here. So I'm gonna go ahead and move this down. Our selection tool. Click this. I'm gonna save first before we do this carving, because carving can always be iffy. Hit this. Control click this. I want to click this and this. Okay. I'm gonna hit carve and pray that it works. Doesn't crash. Okay, there we go. So another thing you need to know about water is that it doesn't seal maps. So we will have to create walls down here to sort of contain this. And that's what we're going to do right now. I'm going to go ahead and go back to our block tool. Create that. And we don't... I'm going to change the texture real quick back to concrete. Excuse me. And I'm going to hit enter. And our concrete walls in the thing. Oh, wait. Okay, I forgot to... Hang on. I need to do this. I need to, like, thin it out. The top. Where is this at? Where is this? Okay, we're doing this side first, I guess. And now I'm gonna hit enter. And I'm gonna go ahead and copy and paste over there. I'm gonna go ahead and do another copy. Click it again, and I'm gonna rotate it. I'm gonna click it over here. I'm gonna click it again, so we go back to this, like, the resize. Click it twice. I'm gonna copy and paste. And then, you know what, I'm gonna take this texture. I'm gonna copy this. And then I'm gonna click this again. Should be able to rotate it. There we go. Rotate this on that axis. We gotta get this bottom. We're gonna go ahead and click that. Oops, click it again. There's a little bit of leakage at the bottom. Obviously, we need to seal the map, so we need to... Actually, I think I need to move this up just a tiny bit. I think that should be sealed. Should be... Yeah, that should be good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save it. And we're going to apply our water texture. Now, the water texture only goes on the top of this for it to work. So I'm going to go ahead and toggle texture application. I'm going to click the front of it. We're just selecting the top part. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to browse, and I'm going to browse against one of the water textures. So you're going to have a bunch of textures. There are two types of textures, if I can recall correctly. There's cheap water and there's expensive water. Essentially, the difference is in fidelity. And, like, you know, typically cheap water you do in the distance. Expensive water you do, you know, that is usually what the player interacts with. We're going to go ahead and do water expensive here. I'm going to hit apply. This is water warp. Yeah. This is water warp DX8. I don't think you want to choose the gray textures. Can't remember. Actually, you know, you'll just have to experiment. You'll see in game, because I can't remember off the top of my head what the cheap and what the expensive waters looked like. That looks pretty expensive to me. Actually, I'm going to use this one. Water 3 expensive. Sorry, I'm just checking which one looks good. You know what, I'll just go with this one. Now you'll notice it looks kind of off, because it's dark in here, and two, I don't think I have like a cube map that I think this needs to reference. We'll make cube maps for the separate parts of the level, but I'm just gonna test and see if this works real quick. Okay, we're in the game. And there we go. See our nice little water texture. You know, we can kind of just jump right in. Here's our little pool. And see, it looks a little better in the in-game than it does in the editor. Yeah, this is our little expensive water. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna add cube maps. We're gonna add our cube maps to this. I think I'll do two things. I'm gonna add a spotlight just on top of the water just to make it look a little more. Oh no, there's actually already a spotlight there. But anyway, there's plenty of water textures you can choose from. Again, EXP usually denotes it's expensive, and the other cheap is usually, they're both usually explicitly told what those are. Yeah, use the blue textures. I think the gray textures you don't really want to use. Can't remember what those were used for. Again, the Valve developer community has all this stuff. I don't know everything about the editor. But anyway, I'm just gonna go ahead and put the final touches of adding our other cube maps into the level, and I think then we'll call the stream there. I'm gonna get my entity. Go ahead and type in cube map. Apply. We're gonna do one for this, and we're gonna want to copy and paste this and put it down in our little our basement right here. Put it down. Hopefully that's right on top of our thing. There we go. And we're gonna hit save. And remember, we have to go in game to generate these cube maps. So hit run map. Okay. Going to come down in here, and look at that. We have our water, and what we want is we got to build our cube maps, because if you notice, if we go down here, there's nothing in here. We go up here, there's nothing out here. Go out of here. Oh, okay. Never mind. Our cube maps. We still need to build them. I thought maybe the build map would retain its thing, but we're just gonna hit build cube maps. There, you just saw it tick all pictures of all those environments. So we should have. Oh, okay. I may have fucked up the cube maps a bit. I may have made it a little too close. There we go. You can see in the scope the cube maps are changing the different things. Yeah, if we go in here, it's... Now, obviously, you can fine-tune this so that it's not constantly... Yeah, see, right now it's actually the underwater. It's actually in our little our pool area. So what you can do is, you know, what you have to do is you kind of have to make this lower. That's in the water or something. And put this further back. Again, it's always going to go to the nearest cube map that you have. So our cube map's right here. So our cube map should be next to the player. Our player start. And they typically recommend you to put it at player height. Just like 64 meters or some or 64 whatever measurement this editor is using. And I'm just gonna go ahead and I didn't want to rotate that. delete that again because I didn't want to rotate it. Yeah. Actually, we'll do this near the stairway. So that's where the transition's gonna be. Obviously, we want it to be at player height, so go ahead and save. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and select my rifle crossbow real quick. And now, of course, we have to build cube maps, as always. There we go. So we see I have our little grass texture, our little room up there. You can see it behind us. It's reflecting behind us in our little scope. Go ahead and go in here, and it's going to change. And you know, we kind of want to go down here. You know, you can see it. You can see it changing in the thing. Oh, it's a little confused. But if we go here, we see our little cube map. And how you can do this is that you can put multiple cube maps in this room that to smoothen the transition, so you're not having that very jarring transition in the scope. Make it a lot more smoother. Remember, it's always going to go towards what the closest, you know, thing is. So, or the closest cube map is. That's what the game's automatically going to target the reflections towards. And like if I go over here, yeah, it has. You can see it has a little grass texture, which we don't really want. That's the nearest one. But anyway, I think with that, I think that's gonna do it for us. I think that's about do it for us today. So that's gonna be about it. So I hope you enjoyed this. I will go ahead and just plug my Discord. I have a Discord if you want to join that and you want to figure out when like the next stream's happening or when I'm streaming. I've noticed I've gotten a bit more views on some of my videos. So I hope you all will, you know, either join my Discord. I invite you to join my Discord if you want. And I hope you all, you know, enjoyed this, you know, not really a tutorial, but kind of like a walkthrough of me creating a map, and I hope you all learned something. And I don't know when I'm going to stream next week. Or not next week. I don't know when I'm going to stream later on. I'm not going to say next week just outright. You know, I might do another stream this week. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed it. And I'll see you next time. Hope you all have a good day, good night, wherever you are, and peace out.